Wall Street meets Washington, a volatile relationship. Buckle up, buttercups, because we're diving into the wild world of finance and politics. It's a rollercoaster ride where the stakes are high and the players are unpredictable. Now, these two might seem like distant cousins who only see each other at weddings and funerals. They appear to operate in separate spheres, rarely crossing paths except on special occasions. But trust me, their relationship is more like a codependent couple on a reality TV show, full of drama, unpredictability, and enough plot twists to make your head spin. It's a saga that keeps everyone on the edge of their seats. You see, financial markets are kind of like that neurotic friend who overthinks everything. They analyze every detail, every nuance, trying to predict the future and avoid any unpleasant surprises. They crave stability, predictability, and a clear sense of where things are headed. A calm, orderly environment is their ideal scenario, where they can make informed decisions without the fear of sudden disruptions. And who can blame them? They're dealing with trillions of dollars here, not some loose change they found in the couch cushions. The stakes are incredibly high and the consequences of missteps can be catastrophic. But then you have politicians who, let's face it, are about as predictable as a pack of ferrets on espresso. Their actions and decisions can be erratic, driven by a multitude of factors including public opinion, personal ambitions, and unforeseen events. They make promises, they change their minds, they get embroiled in scandals. Basically, they're the human embodiment of chaos. Their world is one of constant flux where today's ally can be tomorrow's adversary. And financial markets? Well, let's just say they don't handle chaos very well. Sudden changes and unpredictability can send them into a tailspin, causing panic and massive sell-offs. So when a new president takes office, especially one as unconventional as Donald J. Trump, the markets pay attention. Every move is scrutinized, every word dissected for clues about future policies and their potential impact. They scrutinize every tweet, every speech, every executive order, trying to decipher what it all means for the economy and their precious, precious money. The uncertainty can lead to wild fluctuations in stock prices and investor sentiment. It's enough to make you want to reach for the antacids. The stress and anxiety of trying to navigate this volatile landscape can be overwhelming. But hey, who needs boring stability, right? The excitement and unpredictability keep things interesting, even if it means a few sleepless nights for investors and analysts. Let's see what happens when you throw a self-proclaimed very stable genius into the mix. The drama is far from over, and the next chapter in this volatile relationship is sure to be just as thrilling. So stay tuned, because in the world of finance and politics, the only constant is change. And who knows what surprises are just around the corner. Whether it's a market rally or a political upheaval, one thing's for sure. This relationship will continue to captivate and confound us all. The Art of the Deal, Presidential Edition, Trump's Promises. Now, before we dive into the nitty-gritty of Trump's economic policies, let's rewind to 2016, shall we? It was a time of fervent rallies, bold declarations, and a promise to shake up the status quo. Back when candidate Trump was painting a very rosy picture of America's future, like some kind of economic Bob Ross with a spray tan. He was the outsider, the businessman who claimed he could fix what the politicians had broken. "We're going to make America great again," he bellowed, promising huge tax cuts, a manufacturing renaissance, and wages that would rise faster than a toupee in a hurricane. His rallies were filled with chants and cheers, a sea of red hats and fervent supporters. He vowed to dismantle the disaster of Obamacare, unleash American energy dominance, and, of course, build that beautiful, beautiful wall and make Mexico pay for it naturally. His vision was clear, a stronger, more independent America. Oh, and let's not forget his love affair with tariffs. Remember those? He saw them as a tool to protect American jobs and industries, a way to level the playing field. He slapped them on goods from China, Mexico, the European Union, basically anyone who looked at him funny. It was a bold move, one that sparked debates and discussions across the globe. It was like a global trade war, orchestrated by a guy who thinks international diplomacy is a board game you win by bankrupting everyone else. His approach was unconventional, to say the least. And then there was his fascination with cryptocurrency. In a world rapidly embracing digital currencies, Trump had his own take. He even tweeted about it once, which, as we all know, is the presidential equivalent of writing it in stone. His tweets were a window into his thoughts, often sparking reactions and headlines. Now, whether he understood what blockchain even was is debatable, but hey, it sounded futuristic and disruptive, and that's all that mattered. It was part of his brand, being at the forefront of change, even if the details were fuzzy. So there you have it, a whirlwind of promises, threats and pronouncements, all delivered with Trump's signature blend of bravado and bluster. His speeches were a mix of confidence and controversy, always keeping the audience on their toes. The question was, would any of it actually come true? Analysts and critics were divided, with some seeing potential and others predicting disaster. And more importantly, what would it all mean for our wallets? The stakes were high, and the impact of his policies would be felt by every American. As we look back, it's clear that Trump's promises were more than just words. They were a bold vision for the future, one that would shape the nation's economic landscape for years to come. The Trump bump and beyond market reactions to a rollercoaster presidency. The stock market, my friends, is a fickle beast. It's like a chihuahua easily spooked, prone to sudden bursts of energy and constantly demanding attention. And when Trump took office, well, let's just say it had a bit of a meltdown. Initially, there was a surge of optimism, a sugar rush fueled by promises of deregulation and tax cuts. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, that granddaddy of stock market indices, soared to record highs. It was the Trump bump, a phenomenon so powerful it could make even the most cynical investor crack a smile. But like all sugar rushes, this one was short-lived. As Trump's policies became clearer and his Twitter fingers got itchier, the markets started getting jittery. Trade wars, government shutdowns, and constant political turmoil are not exactly recipes for economic stability.
The dollar, that mighty symbol of American economic power, started to weaken. Gold, the safe haven asset beloved by doomsday preppers and nervous investors alike, began to glitter a little brighter.
And the stock market? Well, let's just say it started to resemble a roller coaster designed by a sadist. The truth is, predicting the market's reaction to anything is like trying to herd cats while riding a unicycle, messy, unpredictable, and likely to end in disaster.
But one thing's for sure, Trump's presidency was anything but boring for the entire financial world. Winners and losers, from Main Street to Silicon Valley. The economic landscape of America is a tale of two worlds, where the fortunes of Main Street and Silicon Valley often seem to be on divergent paths. Now, let's talk about the little guy, the average Joe and Jane trying to make ends meet while the titans of Wall Street play their high-stakes games. These are the people who feel the direct impact of economic policies, often without the safety nets that the wealthy enjoy. Did Trump's policies trickle down to Main Street, or did they mostly benefit those who needed it least? This question has been at the heart of many debates, with opinions varying widely depending on who you ask.
Well, it's a mixed bag, really. Some people felt a sense of optimism, while others were left wondering if the promised benefits would ever materialize. On the one hand, unemployment rates did fall during his tenure, and some folks saw a little extra cash in their paychecks thanks to tax cuts. This was particularly evident in certain sectors where job growth was more robust. But on the other hand, those tax cuts disproportionately benefited corporations and the wealthy, while many middle-class families saw minimal gains. The disparity in economic benefits became a point of contention, highlighting the growing divide between the rich and the rest.
And then there's the whole trade war debacle, which, spoiler alert, didn't exactly work out as planned. The trade war with China was intended to protect American jobs and industries, but the reality was far more complex. Sure, it might have sounded good in a campaign speech, "We're gonna get tough on China," but in reality, it ended up hurting American businesses and consumers more than anyone else. Tariffs led to higher costs for goods, which were often passed down to consumers, and some businesses struggled to adapt to the new trade environment.
Of course, no discussion of the Trump era would be complete without mentioning the tech sector. Silicon Valley, the epicenter of technological innovation, experienced both growth and controversy during this time. Silicon Valley became a hotbed of both innovation and controversy under his watch. Companies like Amazon and Facebook continued their relentless expansion, raking in billions, while facing scrutiny over their data practices and monopolistic tendencies. The tech giants' influence grew, raising questions about privacy, competition, and the role of technology in society. Companies like Amazon and Facebook continued their relentless expansion, raking in billions, while facing scrutiny over their data practices and monopolistic tendencies. The scrutiny led to calls for greater regulation and accountability as people became more aware of the power these companies wielded.
And then there's Elon Musk, the enigmatic CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, who seemed to have a direct line to Trump's Twitter account. Musk's ventures in electric vehicles and space exploration captured the public's imagination, making him a prominent figure in the tech world. One minute they were best buddies, the next they were feuding like children on a playground. Their relationship was a roller coaster, reflecting the unpredictable nature of both their personalities and the broader economic landscape. It was a love-hate relationship for the ages, and it perfectly encapsulated the unpredictable nature of the Trump economy. The era was marked by significant highs and lows, with policies that had far-reaching impacts on both Main Street and Silicon Valley. The legacy of this period continues to be debated as people assess the long-term effects on the American economy and society.